got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away?
Hey, everybody. Welcome, Astros fans, to a little impromptu off day with Ballpark Nation. We're going to do a little quick hitter here, which is something the Astros haven't done a lot of, which is hitting. In fact, the Astros haven't scored a run since I walked out of Minute Maid Park on Saturday. Minute Maid Park. That's it. We got to change the ballpark name back. We got to be like Daikin Listen. How about Daikin presents Minute Maid Park, and the Astros will get back to doing Astros things. I don't know what the record was this time last year. I suspect it's still a better record this year. But like the Astros have not scored now in 28 innings. 28. That's 3 ball games plus, 1/9 of a ball game. I'm not going to get too bent out of shape about yesterday, though, because reality is you can't on one hand say, here comes this amazing pitcher's duel between Hunter Brown and Tarek Skubal or Skubal or however, Screwball, you want to say his name. But and then not expect there to be, not expected to be a pitcher's duel. The game was as advertised. Hunter Brown as the ace was as advertised. And really, the Astros lost a baseball game to the universe because they lost on one of 3 moments, which just kind of tells you that it's just going to be one of those days. One, Christian Walker absolutely smokes a ball 417 feet for an out. That ball's out of every park other than in Detroit, including Yellowstone. There's that. I keep the team store in business, man. I really do. Although shout out to the Bowling Green Hot Rods and got to go see those guys a couple years ago for Let's Get To. Good stuff. But yeah, so there's that. Yonder Diaz was safe at home. I don't know what they saw. I'm seeing people that don't like the Astros try to make the argument that it's clear that the mitt touched him. And the only time that there was contact were maybe, in my opinion, maybe laces touching Yonder Diaz, which does not actually count. And then their forearms touch, which again doesn't count. He has to tag him with the ball with the mitt. So, when you lose 1-0 in 10 innings, then you really do look at any little moment and start to think, oh, wow, this is the thing that could have changed the game. But I think that's the most direct could have changed the game moment. Because, again, you knew going in runs were going to be at a premium. And, the 10th inning, I don't know what to say about it, except, the bullpen obviously did really well in the run-up to that inning. And then, Detroit gets to get a runner on third with less than 2 outs. So you're like, okay, this is probably not going to end well. And then, you make the intentional walk call, which is the correct strategic move at that point to at least try to set up a double play. And then you get an out and then you walk another guy and now you've got bases loaded. And, you did walk 3 guys in the inning, one of which was intentional. And so it seems like maybe if you're the catcher and you get to that now 2 outs, and you get to a 2-2 count, you start thinking maybe he doesn't have his best stuff today. We got to do what we can do to try to get out of the inning. And I don't understand why you call a sweeper. I think he called the sweeper 3 times in a row. Maybe it was just twice in a row. But either way, missed horribly. And in fact, I think Detroit celebrating that walk-off walk on a pitch that was so outside of the zone that it wasn't like good eye, man. That pitch was never good. Like, I think the celebration in extra innings, we've gotten a little, they've become a little performative. They've become a little overly theatrical. It's one thing if you've got a runner on second and you get a base hit and the guy scores. But if you bunt the guy over and then you hit a sac fly, I don't think we need to dump stuff on people. Like, you really literally only scored because of the rule. I don't think you need to dump stuff on people. And when you walk on a bases loaded ball 4 on a ball that's 10 feet outside, then yeah, I don't think you need to do the thing either. Just touch home plate and go home. But I'm not going to lie. We're seeing Joe Espada have to go through some stuff that we've not seen an Astros manager have to go through before. And it's like real adversity that we've not seen in a while. Or maybe we haven't, we just didn't notice it. I don't know. I can't help. Look, and there's a million people that will tell me I'm wrong. But I can't help but coincide all of this stuff that's happened with Fromber first calling out his teammates on the defensive positioning. And then he sucked for 3 games. And then he's still calling out when, the whole not covering home plate. Well, I can't control whether he can throw the ball. Things just seem weird. It seemed in the 9th inning when Joe Espada was pinch hitting for everybody, whether or not those moves made any sense. Like, here's the thing. You pinch hit for Dubon for Sanchez. Okay, that's fine. Sanchez has been in a bit of a funk, but, he's still got a higher OPS than Dubon, not by much, and you want to play the matchup, okay? Like, Cam Smith has been wearing it, but there's zero room. I don't care about righty-lefty when your option is Cam Smith for Melton. Melton, he of the 452 OPS, the 176 batting average. He is marginally better than what I would be. Okay. And the Trammell for McCormick thing is whatever. McCormick has a higher average, which doesn't necessarily matter. Trammell has a higher OPS, but we're still talking about 2 players with a sub 700 OPS. And then you've got Carantini that you don't pinch hit for until you want to pinch hit for him for Urias in extra innings, as I recall. And Urias is the only one who actually had one of 4 guys who had a hit. It felt like managing to manage because he wasn't sure how to do it at that point. Like, it felt like, oh, we were just watching a really young manager try to make some adjustments that didn't necessarily make sense, but that's what you were supposed to do. And this is not some kind of indictment on Joe Espada. I don't think this is his fault. I think he's going to be a good manager. I think he's just, he's not seen everything yet. It's easy for Dusty Baker when the Astros had slides to be even keel about it because he had seen, he'd been managing for 30 years. Even AJ Hinch, when we had AJ Hinch, it was his second 10 years as a manager. He had seen a lot of that stuff. I don't remember AJ Hinch getting short with the media. I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm saying I just don't remember it. I'm not trying to do one of these things where it's like, oh, they were never short with the media. But I don't know. It just feels weird. The thing is, though, and we said it on Monday's show, is every time right now with the Astros being a game and a half up, because yes, through all of this, they're still a game and a half up because somebody said that Seattle was a little smoke and mirrors, and once they got to play somebody that was good, they would struggle more, and everybody kind of shouted me down a little bit, but they're not playing Tampa Bay, they're not playing Chicago. Baltimore took 2 of 3, just like they took 2 of 3 from us, and Philly's beating them like they stole something. So, 2 things on that. The Astros have a game and a half lead, which means that every night only one of 2 things has to go the Astros' way. Either the Astros have to win or Seattle has to lose. You have a 50-50 chance of having something good happen. And I'm sorry, but with 36 games left in baseball season, it's the time when you can look at life that way. The Mariners right now, and I know the lead is slim, but right now they have to have 2 good things happen every night. They've got to win and we have to lose. So I'm not comfortable with the position in the division, but I'd rather be us than them. Beyond the fact that I don't want to live in Seattle. And those city connects they have there's a lot of reasons why I don't want to be Seattle. I'm not one of those guys with a love affair of Seattle. If you look at my MLB stadium rankings, you'll see. But I have a feeling today, the Astros have an early first pitch. It's a 1:00 first pitch. I think Fromber is going to come out and shove. I think that you're going to see I think the Astros do have an advantage across in the matchup on the mound. If they could just find a way to get out of their own way, I'd be curious to see what his lineup is tonight, what Joe's throwing out there. But, the Astros have, on surface at least, the advantage when it comes to the pitching. And, we got a shorter time, earlier start time tonight to be able to watch the game. It's going to be like around a noon start time for us. So by the time I get home from school, I'll know how the day went. But yeah, the Astros are going to have Fromber, and I just cannot imagine it can be as bad as it's been. And then they've got Charlie Morton, and now Morton didn't have great numbers on the season, and hasn't been great. He hasn't even been great recently. Let's look at his last 3 games. He did shut out Minnesota, but then he gave up 6 to the Angels. And so this is not the same guy who won the World Series for us in 2017. The Astros should be able to get to Charlie Morton today. So take that for what. And then Seattle on the bump in Philadelphia, also an early start time for them. Luis Castillo, who's been touched up lately, versus Luzardo for Phillies. It all just depends on how the Phillies approach this game and whether or not, we see rest days from people. But the Mariners still have an uphill battle again today. And just looking at it, the Phillies got to still keep playing because they are playing for that number 1 seed the second seed in the NL. They're leading the Dodgers by a game. We all know that getting that bye is important. So they got something to play for. So, it seems like the Astros at least have the opportunity to not fall any farther back. And that's the name of the game. So, like, even just going through and looking at strength of schedule stuff, which I get, like, I lean on that, and I get that it hasn't paid off. Like, I completely understand. The Astros have about the same strength of schedule left that the Mariners do. They both have about 36 games left. The Stros have what Tankathon dictates to be 10 hard games left of those 26. Seattle has 15 what they deem to be hard games. They've got a game against Philly still. They've got the Dodgers. They've got the Padres. They've got us. They're ranking Cleveland and Kansas City. Cleveland and Kansas City as hard games. I don't know that I agree with that necessarily. But the Stros are going to hit, and the Stros still get to play Colorado, and they still get to play Atlanta, and they still get to play a Rangers team that's falling and an Angels team that's hurling. And I still believe they play well in Baltimore. So there's still a lot to look forward to. That first seed's probably gone. The first round bye for the Astros is probably gone, but I still think there's a lot to look forward to in this season to feel really good about once everything looks and feels normal. So, in fact, for me, the worst sports news to come out of yesterday was that Texas quarterback Arch Manning has now said that his future beyond this year is unclear. And, don't love that. Would think that maybe it's the kind of thing where he's going to start for a year, and if we win the national championship, he's going to go. All right, I will pack for you. But I certainly would hope that we've not endured all of this hype and whatever for him to be gone after just one season. So we'll see that. But yeah, that's me. That's all I got for today. I just want to talk a little, like, yesterday was bad, but really the games that were bad were the 2 before it. Yesterday probably went as expected. And I think if you're looking for some kind of psychological thing to hang your hat on, yesterday could have easily been a pretty big meltdown game for the Astros, particularly when we got through Brown's portion of the start and didn't score. But the bullpen held it down. The good bullpen held it down. And so just got to keep rolling it, and Dana's got to figure it out. And Jordan was 2 for 4. And how much longer are we going to see him with the hooks? I don't know. But it seems to me I'd have him on a plane today, starting tomorrow. And then you have him starting tomorrow, and then you realize that the pitching you're going to face with Baltimore isn't much better than the pitching you're going to face for Frisco. So you might as well have him do that and just have him DH and see how he's doing, as opposed to this Corpus Christi thing. But that's it for me. For now, I'm going to pop out of here. Andy and I are back Friday morning.